Frack on. Welcome to another episode of Frack the Canon. This is going to be a regular FTC FTC classic with myself, René Mendoza, as your host, and my brother from another mother, the co-host, Mr. TJ McCree. What is up, good sir?
What's up, sir? Hello, as always.
So this is going to be a different one. Not comic books, not anime, not superheroes. Talking about a Netflix special, not Netflix series called. I'm pretty sure you've all heard of it. Queen's Gambit. Um, See, we do watch cultural stuff. We're not uncultured swines. So, CJ, let's start with you. Like, you texted me something that made me laugh so hard. I know exactly what you're talking about. You want to say what you texted me, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, sure. Well, first off, I mean, yeah, the show's cultured, but it's about as popcorn munchy as like a cultured type of series could get. But it's as for what I texted you, I was like, I'm trying to remember how I worded it exactly. I think I said something like, I've never felt like such a more horrible person than when I identified with this 9-year-old girl who's reached the bottom of her stash. And that kind of like, if you've seen this series, or if you haven't, like this kind of defines the series because it's like, on the one hand, it's about this little girl who's a chess prodigy, but it's also very much about her dealing with like sort of her, I guess, addiction,
Mm-hmm.
which is sort of, I don't know, and there are other themes going on here. You know what I mean? Like there's this loss that she has throughout her whole life. She's like experiencing like this tremendous loss, like one loss after another, and it's like you can see that she's trying to fill this void with something, and she's choosing there are these couple of things
Mm-hmm.
that she's choosing to fill them with, but they're not necessarily, at least throughout the series so far as I've gotten, they're not like necessarily filling that hole, but they are driving her to like it seems like she's trying to fill the hole with these things, and they're kind of like driving her to obsess over those things.
Mm-hmm.
But those things aren't necessarily filling the hole though that she has, you know. But it's like sort of like this self-defeating circle. But because they're not filling the hole, she's like even diving in even further into them,
But it's
which
funny
is
too because so we're gonna jump. So it would Queen Gambit but even that the fact that she couldn't play well without having what was she was taking tranquilizers because that right.
yeah,
She couldn't play, like she would lose. She was like, I can't. Whenever she went to her first real competition, that she tried playing against, I guess, like you put it, the anime explained it. They're like, oh yeah, and so she couldn't get her power level up for anime terms to to the bad guy. So she had to take her version of a Sintu being. Oh my god, dude, Dragon Ball is.
Yes, dude. Yes.
She had to take a tranquilizer to level up to freaking level up to be okay. Boom. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. Like she still had it in her, but she still needed to be like she had to be some sort of toxin in her or some sort of like drug to be at her best, to be Super Saiyan.
Right. And I'll use that point to kind of like go off on a little bit. Like, one of the reasons I like this show is like because of how anime it is. Like you use that as a sensu bean, but like I remember even the other night I was explaining this to my little cousin. Like why I was kind of liking the show is like because of what I just said. Like he's an anime and like how anime it is, and even like when she gets to the first chess tournament, and like there's that that like generic anime bad guy style person. They're like, oh, you'll never defeat this guy. You're nothing. You're like your skills are nothing. You're a nobody. You know what I mean? And then they start talking like, oh, he's a level 1800, and I just immediately start thinking like DBZ power levels. Like as soon as they're like, oh, his level is this, and it's like, do you even have a ranking? You know what I mean? Like, just like, oh my god, this is so hilarious. Like it's like DBZ by way of like chess, or it's almost kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh esque too. In that sense.
I didn't think about it because I binge watched it and I was surprised how well I much liked it. That's good English. How much I like that show. But just everything, I'm like, all right, cool. Because it's we talked earlier. It's a basic poor. It wasn't a Me Too. I wouldn't say it was a Me Too, but it was pretty much that story of the underdog going up against to the world, like kind of this uncultured, uneducated woman going up, or person for like, but in this story it's a woman, just going up against a man's world and just dominating. Which was, I mean, I haven't seen it before, but I liked how they told it. I like how they presented it. One of my favorite things that they did in that show was how she would see it up on the roof and how she would play and how she would visualize moves on the chess. I'm like, that's pretty dope. That's pretty badass. But I don't know, anything you would talk about? Anything else?
Yeah, like I mean, I like that aspect, but I think it's a very interesting thing because it's like very like it's almost like Sherlock-y too. You right? Like,
Yes.
and not like BBC awesome show Sherlock. I mean like OG Sherlock, like kind of dripping on like freaking opium and stuff. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
because it's like this thing that kicked off her like genius in the first place. Like the thing that made her really good at chess is that she's like freaking chilling in her bed, tripping off whatever that is, and freaking just like hallucinating chess in her brain. You know what I mean? Like just on the ceiling playing chess, like just high as a kite. But I think that's a very interesting thing. It does make her kind of like Sherlock-y, and she is like Sherlock-y, like she's a bit detached from like humanity in a sense. Like she's not like other people, you know what I mean? And like you see that in like, she always pines for this like sort of like physical connection, but then you then see I think it's very interesting that we see her like watch people having connections, and you can see that she like kind of wants that. But then like when it comes to her actual sexual relations that we see her have, they're nothing like what she's like wanting. You know what I mean? Like it's always like
Yeah.
just it's always like this just quick kind of, oh, okay, that, you know what I mean? Like kind of a thing. And then she's like, all right, well, whatever, I did it, kind of a thing, like back to, the chest or whatever. And it's like, I just find that interesting that we keep seeing those two like sides. And I'm just like, oh, interesting. Like, okay, like, I like that it's like this search, like kind of like what I was like saying before, alluding to before. It's like this constant search, like for this hole that she has that she's trying to like fill with something,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like she doesn't know. And this is something that would piss me off in a movie, by the way. But like in a show that we have time to like explore it, like I'm okay with them like doing that with this character. You know what I mean? Like I'm okay with her with the idea of her wanting something that she doesn't know what it is that she wants, and her trying to find something that she doesn't know what she wants because she's like looking for it, and it's like causing her to evolve kind of because she's like growing because she's looking for this thing but she doesn't know what it is. If that was in a movie, I'd be like, F this, like like I don't care, I don't know what she's looking for, I don't know what she's trying for, but like, but I like it in the show, you know what I mean? And to that point, she sells it completely, you know what I mean? The actress, I don't know her name, but she's
Anya
great.
Taylor-Johnson, aka Magic in New Mutants, and also in Split, and that one movie that was the M Night verse that brought in, yeah, Anya Taylor-Johnson. She's Magic in New Mutants.
Well, speaking of magic, she's magic in this role.
I was
Like
gonna say that too. Yeah.
She's completely nailing it, and that like that's part of like the draw of me to the series too. Like not just her, like the performances in the series are like phenomenal. I can't name one that I was like, oh, that person phoned it in, and it took me out of it.
Mm-hmm.
They're all phenomenal, and it's like the only flaw is that like sometimes like I don't exactly know what they're trying to convey in certain things, and it's because of how complicated the characters are. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like I can get it's like, oh, okay, like I don't fully get what she's trying to bring across, but like this complex emotion that this character does have, I do believe this character is going through that, whatever it is, you know what I mean, she's going through.
Well, well, I mean, I think with the thing, the whole she's trying to fill in some sort of love, sort of thing, because I don't she going back to what you're complicating, which is because she's traveling alone. Like her parents died at a young age. She's in this orphanage. Her only real like maternal like sibling like family member was I forgot her name, the black girl, who was like, be careful with those blue pills because they become pretty much hit that they're an addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And Anna Taylor Johnson, I think she did a great job like doing that because like you said, like she was just kind of like, whatever, I need something. You said you haven't finished the ending, right? You're not
I
done.
haven't finished it.
Okay, I'm not gonna tell you, but those who have, there's at the very end, I'm like, okay, I think that's what it is. I think that's what she kind of feels like because she wasn't even famous, and she kind of seemed to enjoy that a little bit, but still, it wasn't enough. Even in high school, she got famous, right? She was all the friends. She
Yeah, yeah.
started having. She was in the newspaper. I'm like, oh, this girl beating men at a men's game. I think what she really wants is it's kind of as corny as it wants, cliche as it wants. She just needs something to that hole that needs to be filled is something that she is she wants to belong. She wants to love because even her mom was pretty much like you said, she was a bad mom because she gave her drinks. She was using her to get money. I'm like, I don't think my mom would have ever done that. I don't know about your mom, but I'm pretty sure she would have done that too, CJ. But I mean, she was being used by everyone pretty much, except for the janitor who taught her how to play. Like she was like, all right, like he treated her like a human being. Like, all right,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like he was the one, and I feel that she needed maybe that she needed kind of that more of that training because there was still like something was missing, like you said, something, and I don't know what it is too. Like I'm guessing that's what she wants to belong, which as corny and as
Well,
true. Go ahead.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like, and when I was saying that earlier, I wasn't saying that as a like, I wasn't trying to put that as like a what the show is lacking either.
Mhm.
Like, it's just it's just something that this character is drawn to, and yeah, I've already like, I've kind of surmised that too. Like, she does this character. Like, yes, looking at that, I'm like, yes, what this character needs is love. You know what I mean? She has never like belonged anywhere. And like that is what she's searching for is belonging. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't know that she's looking for belonging. But she knows that she feels empty. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like
Yeah.
knows that she wants to put something in that empty hole. You know what I mean? Like you can see that in like I think one of the better like one of the best or sorry and a good scene in the series is when after her rival from previous years came back to town and like ends up living with her for a little bit and
Oh yeah.
then like and they like they're banging too kind of but like he's like kind of whatever teaching her chess or whatever or trying to or whatever.
You could move in here if you want, for free.
Really?
Yeah, really.
And how she has this kind of like disconnect with humans but with humanity but she's also like she doesn't want she wants companionship too, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like and she like it's kind of like well whatever stay with me like whatever you know what I mean if you want to bang or whatever that's cool like just just don't leave or whatever you know what I mean like that's cool you can stay free whatever like and then he's like leaving and she's like how that kind of hits her like shit like what I gotta be in this house by myself like like wait hold on like well, what's up like what I mean and then like I like that moment because it's like oh, like they're like I like how he put it he's like oh, I can't just be a chest bum you know what I mean like and
Yeah.
like it's just kind of like this thing of like he's like well look I wanted to stay here but like I just kind of like you kind of a thing
Right.
like but I can see that that's not what you're on which is fine but like I gotta move on then you know what I mean like kind of a thing can't just like just chill here forever and watch you like play chess or whatever and like and trip you know what I mean and so like I think that's just an interesting like it put a lot of things into perspective, like, you know what I mean, like as far as the show is going. But to kind of loop this back to, because I did want to allude to like the mom character that you kind of mentioned earlier. Anyways, okay, so what I was saying was the mom character, like I I fell in love with that character so much, you know what I mean? Like, because like I could tell she had such a big heart, and even though she was a terrible mom, like she just kind of enabled her to do whatever. But like she had, like, you know, it came from such a good heart. And even like even when she was like, yeah, what do you think about like me having a 10% like fine for agent's fee or whatever, you know what I mean? And then she came back with like, how about a 15%? You know what I mean? I was like, oh dude, what a moment, like here, like with like a tender moment, because like I really did feel like, I mean, yeah, like you said, like she was trying to use her, but like obviously like she was gonna be a bum, that lady. You know what I mean? Like that lady, like that she was gonna lose the house and everything. Like she wasn't gonna work. Like she was just gonna keep doing those drugs until she like killed herself or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it was like, and the girl, like that's why even the girl, like when she said like in that moment, like I fell in love with her with that relationship when she's like what's name's not coming back. You know what I mean? And she was like, oh, so like what would they send me back to the orphanage then? You know what I mean? Like, and she's just like, oh shit, like well yeah, like you know what I mean? Unless we kind of said that you didn't have to go, you know what I mean, kind of a thing. And she was just like, oh, okay. Well, yeah, cool, I'll stay. You know what I mean? Like I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. You know what I mean? I thought that was a great like little kind of like relationship thing there. And she's like, okay. She's like, well, by the way, like, you know, I got my period too. It's like, and she's like, all right, like, she's like, we can make this work. Like, I love that moment and like what it led to. You know what I mean? This, I thought what I thought was a beautiful mother-daughter relationship, like displayed there between them. You know what I mean? Even though it was flawed, there was still something beautiful about it.
See, I felt the opposite. I thought that was a very touching moment until the whole chess thing. I'm like, oh, like you kind of just undid that moment for me. For me, it was like she just undid that moment because I'm like, oh, I'll take whatever percentage. I'm like, you're using this girl to get you pretty much get high and get drunk. That's what kind of turned me personally. That's what I'm like.
Well, here's the thing. Well, I feel you, right? But like the thing for me was like, what sold it for me was the performance. Again, going back to the performances. What sold it for me was the performance. Is like, and like she didn't, like she had so much remorse in her when she asked that of her. You know what I mean? Like she felt so bad. Like you could see it like when she like said it, like I was thinking like,
Oh, that's right.
10%, like, you know what I mean, actress fee, and like, you know what I mean, and in the girl and the response, her response to that, like she was responding to that emotion, you know what I mean? Like another nod to the actress, you know what I mean? Like she was responding to that emotion and that like, it's cool, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like I know, I get it. Like it's cool. Like and to that point, like I didn't see it like she was cut off. Like I didn't see it as just like booze money. Like they needed money to like live in that house. You know what I mean? Like, and this was her saying like, okay, like we can make us living without the husband work if we do this, you know what I mean? Kind of a thing. And to me, like, I just saw that as them like understanding, okay, this is what this is now. Like we have to now play chess that like, we have to exploit your chess playing to kind of survive, you know what I mean, in this world kind of thing. But that's maybe true, I read too much into it. But I felt like she was now the sole income. I felt like she was not the sole income of the house. You know what I mean? And like everybody kind of understood that in that respect. You know what I mean? Like, because otherwise it was that or go back to the orphanage. You know, basically was the choices. You know what I mean? Pretty much. And she chose that instead. You know, like.
So, all right. So we're talking about this too. Like, this was based on a book, or was it based? So I know, it's kind of based on something. And it's based on the book. Yeah. Overall, I have nothing much to add, just because I'm like, I just want to talk about it. I like how you waxed about it. I'm like, it was awesome. But you said that actress was really well done. Everyone did a great job. Even that one dude with the cowboy hat with the wimpy mustache. I'm like, dude,
freaking Indiana Jones, the chess player. Like,
yeah.
I was like, and even that felt anime to me. Just this random, like, badass chess character. Like, it's like, what? Like, why are you?
I have a question for you. So I know a little bit of chess because we would play chess in Mexico. My cousin taught me how to play chess. Did you ever play chess? Have you? Does this make you want to play chess? Like after I read on Facebook that because of this series, a lot of chess boards and pieces went up. Like lots. What have you? Does this make you want to play chess?
Absolutely not. But if I had a, but that has nothing to do with the series. I feel like if I had to watch this series when I was like younger, like it totally would have given me an interest to either play chess or do whatever blue pill she was doing. But I, having played chess, before, I have no interest in continuing to play chess. Chess just isn't my game. But like I said, it's of no fault of the show. I do feel like, yeah, if I had seen this when I was younger, it probably would have spurred something in me to want to play chess because it is a cool series. But coming from the opposite of you, I've played chess. I know what the pieces do. You know what I mean? But like beyond that, like I'm a chess novice. You know what I mean? So a lot of things in the series go over my head until they like really beat us over the head with it. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I understand when she's winning, when she's won, that it's a good thing. You know what I mean? Like, oh, she's smiling, so she must win. She must have won. You know what I mean? Like, or you know what I mean? But like, but I don't think that me not knowing crap about chess
No.
takes away from my enjoyment of the series though.
Yeah, I know a little bit. Again, I consider myself a novice chess player, but I think yeah, it's pretty much a character piece. It's pretty much about Anya Taylor-Johnson. Um, I enjoyed it. Like I wish there would have been more chess stuff. That's the only thing. Other than that, though, I think it was a near perfect series. I can't say it's perfect because there's no such thing as a perfect in the real world, like Fraser would say or not say. Alrighty, any final thoughts? Any final comments, TJ?
Nah.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you same freaking time, same freaking channel. Frack off.